Good morning, character design. It is Monday, April 27th. Now that we're done with our portraiture, which are looking awesome, and we're going to critique those here a little bit later, but we're going to move on to our next project. And I think maybe this may be the last project, though there'll probably be a small little something, something there at the very, very end. So, what is it? It is mascot designs. So designing a mascot is really, really important. You see that about like a mascot for a sports team or anything like that. I'm talking about. We'll go over it. Okay. But firstly, for your drawing, do not throw them away. Now, character design, the class. Why we have that class, why it's so important, is that a lot of students, and I said this before, but I'm going to quickly say it again, a lot of students tend to, in our program, eventually apply for some sort of art school. And you may say, no, I'm going to go be a anesthesiologist or a plumber or whatever now, right? But a lot changes in a few years. And you may hear in a few years, and I've seen this, like, it happens dozens of times every single year. Students say, I'm going to be this. And then by the time they graduate, they go, hey, you know what? I actually need a portfolio because I decided to apply for SCAD, or I'm going to apply for Ringling or whatever. So these art schools need things like drawings as part of your portfolio. So that's why we did drawings of hands, and that's why we're doing the portraiture drawings, because these are the things you need to apply for, and that's whether you want to be an interior designer or a fashion designer or a photographer or a filmmaker, an animator, or a character designer. You need these types of projects in your portfolio to be able to get into the school. So do not throw this away. Put it like somewhere out of the way, and then we're going to. I would like to take studio pictures of it when we return to school, so that way you have it in your portfolio. So important. So don't get rid of it. Is that it? Yeah. Do not get rid of anything. Oh, and then plus, and I was going to share the email, but it's kind of sad, so I'm not going to. But, I had a parent just reach out to me and said, hey, my student wants to apply for SCAD. She graduated last year. Could we get all of her old work? Because, she's really excited. She's kind of like, took a year to figure out what she wanted to do, but she now knows she wants to go to SCAD, which is South Carolina School for Art Design, and be a whatever. And I had to tell him, no, like everything was deleted. Once you graduate, your R2D2 count is cleared. We clear our computers every year. All of that stuff that she spent 4 years making is gone, and that's pretty, I imagine, was upsetting to her and her family. So do not throw anything away. Take a good picture of it, put it on OneDrive or your own personal accounts, so that way you can never accidentally get rid of it. So, okay, here we go. Mascot design. I would like you guys to choose a product in your house to design a mascot for. And we'll go about which kind of product you should choose, okay? Because there's lots of different types of products. Couple rules. One, it must be a product that has a brand that you can find the high-res logo for online. So don't choose a product that's like, something that from that's local. Like you go and you get like, I can't even think of a very good example. Like there's a deli down the street and they sell amazing jerky. So you want to create a mascot for your jerky. Well, choose a larger company, something that you could find online. So, and it must be a brand that does not already have a mascot, okay? So think about those two things, all right? So the difference between a logo and a mascot. A logo like this helps you identify the brand and gives you a first impression. An example would be that you would wear a logo on your shirt, okay? Maybe not Pillsbury, I don't know if that's fashionable, though I have seen people walk around with M&Ms on their shirts, like jackets and stuff that have M&Ms on it. And this is a logo, right? A mascot helps you relate to the brand, like the M&Ms. M&M guys, I don't know if they have names or whatever. But those would be the mascots because they help you relate, and you would not wear the logo, you would take a picture with a mascot. So a person dressed up like Mr. Peanut, the Pillsbury Doughboy, the Geico Gecko. So this is that thing that helps you kind of like get to know the brand, like the brand. If I were to say the Geico Gecko, he's kind of smarmy, he has a little bit of a sense of humor, he's He's intelligent. All of what the company wants to identify themselves as is embodied within that mascot. What about Pillsbury? Cute, fun, lovable. Pillsbury. Those are those things they want you to relate to. M&Ms, funny, delicious, particularly the ones with peanuts in them. Yeah, so difference between a logo and a mascot. I want you to go find a company that already has a logo and create a mascot for them. Okay. So famous mascots. Let's go over some. Chester Cheetah. So if you're looking at Chester Cheetah, like, why a cheetah? Why do you think? I'm not going to answer these questions because I want you to start thinking. Why do you think Cheetos would have chosen Chester the cheetah? Why name him Chester? Like, what about Chester? If you had to describe him, what about the personality of Chester makes me like Cheetos? Which I don't. I hate Cheetos. I think that they're absolutely disgusting. But there's some of you out there that are going, "Well, you haven't had them for a long time." I haven't. I hadn't had them since I was like 10 or something. But what is it about Chester that they want to have you relate to with Cheetos? What about Mr. Pringles? This is a mascot and logo combined into one, okay? What about Mr. Clean? What is it about this mascot that helps you relate to that brand? Okay? So if I were to let's just do this one because this one's easy. If I were to look at Mr. Clean, what is it about him that makes me relate to the Mr. Clean product? He's strong, right? He looks very tough. So I know that Mr. Clean cleaning product is very strong. Friendly, look at that smile. Mr. Clean is a family-friendly company. He seems like he practices very good hygiene. Look at that bald head. Look at that white perfect shirt. His skin glowing and radiant. It's just everything about him is clean, right? Not really certain how the earring fits into this, but I don't know. I actually never realized he had an earring there. That's funny. So think about your target audience and choosing the right brand. So what kind of companies would not have a mascot? I don't know. I should have probably thought about this. So maybe things that wouldn't have a brand. Would a suntan lotion have a brand, a mascot? Probably, I could definitely see that. Would a toaster company have a mascot? Maybe. Would a company that makes, I'm like literally looking around the room, I should have prepared for this. Would Ziploc storage bags have a mascot? Maybe, So think about those things. Would Bose audio speakers have a mascot? Probably not, okay? Because I don't think that the target audience of Bose speakers, let's just say like really expensive high-end speakers, wants to see like a Chester the cheetah, right? They're a little bit more high-end. Things that have mascots tend to be more family-oriented things. So choose the right brand, and then also choose the right mascot. So I want you to see this little handy-dandy helpful guide. I thought this was pretty cool. I'm not sure I agree with it entirely, but it may help you. And so let's say, what kind of mascot do I want to create? Well, I have 3 different types. I have a human mascot, I have an object mascot, and I have an animal mascot. So if I were to look at my list here, I got Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut is an object mascot. It's a peanut. What about Mickey Mouse, an animal mascot? Rich Uncle Pennybags, a human mascot. Human mascot, object mascot. How about Pringles? Human mascot, animal, object, human, animal, right? They're all kind of spread out. So how do I know which one to create? How do I know whether I should make it a person or an object or an animal? Well, this is kind of like a guide to help you kind of choose, and it's not 100%, but it's close. So do you want to promote yourself or a person? So like saying like, hey, I am like Mr. Clean. Do I want to embody that in a person? Well, definitely make a human mascot. Or I'm trying to like really sell myself. Make a human mascot. Do you sell a product that's easy to visualize? Like a peanut, right? Or an M&M. Absolutely. So maybe choose an object mascot, but don't choose a human mascot. Do you provide a service that can be associated with an object, like a peanut or dough? Well, maybe choose an object mascot. If the answer is no, do you provide a service or product that can be associated with an animal? Like, I mean, I guess you could say that Geico, it sounds like gecko, so they kind of made a little funzy there. But yeah, like Walt Disney, one of their earlier projects had a Mickey Mouse in it, or what became Mickey Mouse. So yeah, it's associated with an animal, so maybe we choose that animal, right? Though for Walt Disney, you could have easily chosen a human mascot because Walt Disney was a person. So maybe you could have had like, rich Uncle Disney as your mascot for Walt Disney. Could have, maybe in a different universe. Do you need the visual appearance of your mascot to be associated with the values of your brand? So, meaning Chester the cheetah, right? What are Cheetos? Like, how do you create the values of that brand? Cheetos are supposed to be like young and hip and cool and young person snack. And, I want to be super unhealthy and eat these, stuff like that. So you need something to visualize that. And that's why Chester looks the way he does, kind of like a jerk. He kind of, with the black glasses and his pose and his arms crossed, it's about like young, defiance, whatever. I mean, they needed to be able to put that into their mascot. So they chose an animal because it would be harder to do that with an object or a human. So this is not 100%, but maybe if you're trying to decide, go through this and just, figure out which one you want to do. Okay. Again, choose the right type of mascot. So if you're doing if you say, hey, I'm going to do speakers, right? You may not want to choose a cockroach for speakers, right? Think about things that would be associated with that. Hey, our speakers are really, really strong. They have they're very loud. So what in the animal kingdom, if you wanted to do an animal, is very loud or very strong, Maybe not a cockroach would be the best example. What about Ziploc storage bags if you wanted to create a mascot for that? Perhaps something in the animal kingdom if you want to do animal that was secure, like Ziploc bags, they want to hold things in, no leak. So what is we do associate in the animal kingdom with something that is super tight, super no leak, almost very OCD almost, because I think that has the kind of things that they're looking for in their brand. Okay, so anyway, this is a good place to start. Go walk around your house and just choose a product to create a mascot for. All right, that's it. That's all you need to do today. Just choose. All right, and then make sure that you fill out the review and reflect form. Start looking up. Once you find that product, go look online to make sure they don't already have a mascot. Okay. If you guys have any questions about this, if you guys are still uncertain, I don't know the difference between what a logo is or a mascot is, just email me directly and we can walk through it a little bit more, okay? So good luck hunting. Let me know if you have any questions. Do not throw away your self-portraits. And if you haven't turned it in already, definitely turn it in. And that's it. You guys have a great day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.